Hi, this is Amrita Sukumar, and I'm bringing to you this podcast called Unsettling. Look around you. Everyone is trying to create their own story. Make a tiny change in someone's life by just following their passion and in turn, inspiring the others to follow suit. This podcast brings to you stories of people who have defied the definition of settled set by the society and have created their own. They have found happiness in their version of settled. What is yours?
Hey listeners, do you remember your childhood where you used to wait for someone's birthday so you could gorge on that cake and it was magical? Even though your mother used to frown at you, you would have a lot of fun. Today, I'm talking to one such creator of magic, a baker of the name Azharuddin. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
That's correct.
Thank God. Hi Azhar.
Hi, Amrita. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, Azhar, our listeners would like to know a little bit more about you. So, can you give a small introduction?
Okay, like you said, I'm a baker. I'm a chef by profession. How I got into baking is a long story. So,
Okay.
long story cut short, that I never wanted to become a chef in first place. It was maybe by a accident or you'd say a destiny. When I joined hotel management,
Uh-huh.
I thought I'll become a F&B manager, which is food and beverage manager, wherein I'll be taking care of the guests. I'll be welcoming them. Mostly, I thought I'll be wearing a suit all day long. Hence, I joined the hotel management.
Okay.
But when we complete our first year, we had to go under a hotel. It could be 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star hotel in any of the cities.
Okay.
And we had to complete a training known as industrial training, which is like an internship. And it was a 45-day training initially. So when I went there, I requested them that, sir, I want to get into a restaurant where I would work under a captain like a waiter. So he said, we don't have a vacancy there. You have to work in housekeeping department for 15 days and 1 month in kitchen,
Acha.
which I really didn't wanted to. And I said, sir, I don't want to do it. So he threw the resume on my plate and said, if you want to do it, you do it. Otherwise, get lost. This is what has happened to me.
Okay.
And I picked that resume. I had tears in my eyes and I said I had no hopes. I thought I'll quit the hotel management altogether. And I called my principal. Then he said, Azhar, you have to do it. Otherwise, we can't take you back in the college. I have to do it because I wanted to complete my hotel management. I never wanted to disappoint my parents. I had to come to Bangalore for the very first time. And then I completed somehow for 15 days in housekeeping department. And when I actually went into kitchen, I literally hated my first few days.
Okay.
But gradually, I don't know what happened. Few chefs were very encouraging, motivated me. And I started learning something. And that hooked me that kitchen is even better profession than being in a restaurant. Because kitchen was also providing me to interact with guests. That day, I decided to become a chef.
Oh.
That's the story.
Oh, I didn't know this. Huh? I thought that you wanted to be a baker by profession since the very beginning. But this is
No.
a very, very, very interesting story.
Yeah.
But now you have your own. You have your own bakery. It is called Daisy Dozen.
Yes.
Why is it named Daisy Dozen, by the way?
Again, a story, because I think I have too many stories to tell.
You should.
When I started Amrita, I don't know whether you know this, whether you remember this. I named my bakery as Baker's Dozen. Now, listeners would know Baker's Dozen means 13. A dozen is 12. Baker's Dozen is 13. There is a story. I have spoken about it. I have given a speech on it, where a baker is not so generous enough. So he became generous by learning something. So you can read about Baker's Dozen on YouTube or on the internet.
I will.
So I was hooked to this name. Basically, Baker's Dozen means 13. So whenever somebody asks you a dozen, if you give them a 13 number, for example, if you ask me a dozen of cookies, which is 12, I have to give you 13. One extra from my side. So which means you have to be very generous in life.
Okay.
That is how I was very convinced with the name. And I made a mistake that I didn't know much about law in terms of restaurant business. I thought I'll put a name, I'll put a branding, I'll put something on YouTube and Instagram, I'll put a LED board in front of my shop, and voila, I have opened my shop. After 6 months, I got a notice from one of the brands from Mumbai, and the name of their brand was The Baker's Dozen.
Oh.
Now you cannot have the same brand name in India because it's known as trademark or registration,
Okay.
which I didn't inspect while doing it. And then I realized I have to change my name from
Okay.
Baker's Dozen.
Oh. So
I
that-
was really, really emotional. After 6, 7 months of my business, I thought I'm going to lose my customer. It's going to hamper my entire business. People will think something has changed. The quality has changed. But thankfully, thank God, nothing has changed. Then I had to come up with a name which starts from D because I wanted to retain the word dozen from the Baker's Dozen. If I keep the name Bakers, there are so many bakers such as Baker's Paradise,
Yeah.
okay, Baker's Brown, Baker's Point, Baker's Corner, and so many other things. And I didn't want to get lost in that name. Hence, I wanted to keep and retain the word dozen. I had to choose something as a prefix.
Okay.
And then I read about many other things after a couple of weeks, couple of days or weeks. I decided I have to choose something to start with the D, which sounds very good to the ears. And Daisy Dozen. I had multiple names, and the word Daisy Dozen, the name Daisy Dozen, sounded very good to the ears. If you know something about daisy, which is like a flower which opens in the morning and closes at the night, and which is available throughout the year. And daisies are given to very warm people, and you can give it to anybody. You can give it to wife, girlfriend, kids, somebody is hospitalized. So daisy is such a flower which can be given to everyone. And yellow was our brand color, yellow and white. So hence I chose Daisy Dozen.
Oh, this is a very interesting story. This is very nice. I like the name also. It's a beautiful alliteration. Daisy Dozen sounds really good to the ears.
Correct.
And you talked about trademark and everything. So I want to know what are the other certificates that you had to acquire before setting up your shop?
Okay, first thing and foremost that you have an idea, get maybe a patent or a trademark done. You need to have a lawyer with you. Check whether this name is available. First thing. And after that, once you have it, then there is something known as certification for bakery. There are different certificates for bakery and restaurant.
Okay.
So mine is kind of a restaurant and a bakery. If I have to serve something, if I have a seating arrangement of 2, 3 or 4 seater minimum, I'm talking about.
Okay.
Even that is known as a restaurant. So there are different trademarks for both. So I have taken 2 different trademarks, one for cafe and one for bakery retail.
Okay.
First thing, and then you need to have the license, food license. You have to have a lawyer or a consultant who can get you that license. And after that, there's something known as HACCP certificate or electricity bill. These many certificates are very, very, very important.
Okay. So there are...
And Shop Act license also. I missed Shop Act license. Yeah.
Right.
If you have a lawyer or a consultant, everything can be done within 15 to 20 days. Food license may take some time.
Oh, okay. But the rest are quite easy to acquire. So
Yeah,
yours is a bakery or a restaurant? Do you have seating as well?
Earlier, I had a seating in one of my cafes which I had to shut down recently. Now I have just retail outlet wherein you can come, see the cake, you can buy and take away.
Leave. Okay.
Yeah.
So can you name some of the items on the menu and how did you decide on them?
Okay. Red velvet is a specialty.
Okay.
And if you ask in Pune and who serve the best red velvet, I think 50 to 60, probably 70% would say Daisy Dozen serves the best red velvet in town, which I'm very proud of. And apart from that, Dutch truffle, fresh fruit gato. All these are very regular and easily available cakes. I don't have to reinvent the name. So the wheel was already invented. I
Okay.
just have to see what can be produced, what people like. Hence, I had to introduce few cakes. Initially, I launched just 8 or 10 flavors, and then I had to introduce 2 more. I have to remove 3 or 4 more, and I introduce few more. So, couple of recommendations from people, such as rasmalai cake is
Oh.
trending in Pune. I don't know for what reason rasmalai people love it. So, just because my customer wanted, sir, customer पूछे हैं sir rasmalai cake है क्या? Please introduce करो. My staff used to tell me this.
अच्छा.
And they pressured me saying, okay, sir, karte launch. Let's launch rasmalai cake. Let's see. So I launched it and people love it.
Oh.
So if it is working for us, that's the reason I kept it in my menu. Otherwise, I did not invent anything apart from that. Yes, for flavors, I work out some recipe. If it is working well, it tastes well. If it is approved and appreciated well in the market, I might as well keep it. So red velvet is there since day one. It is still there, and we have not changed the for red velvet cake.
Okay, okay. So the menu keeps changing, it keeps rotating. All you do
Yeah,
is you. Sorry?
yeah, we keep rotating depending on the season.
Acha. Okay. And you are only in charge of flavors. Otherwise, everything is already there. Tried and tested.
Already there. Yeah, I tried and tested. Yes.
Okay. And you said that there is a lot of competition on the market. So what do you do to stand out from the rest of them?
It's very difficult to stand out in the market because cake is something which is easily available.
Yes.
Very few people today think that cake is also something should be eaten, not only to apply cake. It's not just a sign of celebration. Most people in Pune, not just in Pune, in India, so people think cake is just a sign of celebration. For example, if you're buying a car, let us get a cake, cut it. Nobody will actually try and eat it. Just a small piece of cake, they'll eat it. Okay, fine, that's it. Or let's apply on birthday bash, something like that. But very few people actually love eating cake. Those who enjoy, relish eating cake, those people have actually stick with me since day one, very loyal to me.
Okay.
I think to stand out something like this, you have to use the best of the quality of the ingredients. Because the cream that you see on top of the cake, it is available throughout the world. And in India, there are at least 10 or maybe 20 different brands available.
Acha.
And I choose the best brand of cream, which is Riches, RICS apostrophe S.
Okay.
Before becoming an entrepreneur, before starting Daisy Dozen, I used to work with Riches.
Acha.
And they have a plant in Pune, which is a US-based company. And I know what kind of quality of ingredients that they use to produce such quality cream,
Okay.
which is available for 150 to 170 to 180 rupees per kilo. However, there are also products in the market which are available for just mere 70 or 80 rupees a kilo. And many bakers, unfortunately, are using such low quality products,
Okay.
and using something, adulteration, and they are able to sell in the market for just 200 rupees. I can't do that. My products are not very premium, but yes, my products are little more over like 20-30 rupees extra than the usual market. If somebody is selling at 350, my price of the cake starts from 370.
Okay. So you believe in quality over quantity and people come
Yeah.
for your quality.
That's correct.
Oh, great, great. So how do you feel about the fact that baking is still not a mainstream profession in our country?
I really kind of agree to disagree with this point.
Okay.
Many people are interested and inclined towards bakery these days.
Acha. So
The reason could be
Huh?
the trend that is happening on the television channel.
Okay.
Basically, people are more aware,
Uh-huh.
or maybe digital platform like Instagram, just see what's happening around the world, and everybody wants to enjoy baking.
That's true.
Especially women love baking. At least there are 70 to 80% women are more inclined towards baking.
Okay.
But men are more inclined towards cooking, not baking.
Acha. Okay. Okay. If you disagree, then I'll have to agree with you.
Yeah.
So since you said that you worked in a restaurant before, I have this query.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is better, working as a chef or working on your own business?
Mm, okay. I kind of, oscillate here, like a pendulum approach. When I started as a chef, it's a great feeling. It has own pros and cons. To
Okay.
be a chef, to be an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
So let me talk about being a chef.
Hmm.
When we started, it was very difficult because when I started, it was in 2007. Things were very different then. I'm talking about 13 years ago.
Yes.
I started learning cooking in 2003 because that's when I joined the hotel management.
Hmm.
Things were really, really very different then. There were no mobiles in 2003 and 7. And the mobiles I'm talking about were only Nokia. That too with antenna. Or mostly during that time, 3310 was launched. And right after that, there were few mobiles. And then the first mobile, which was 6610, I think,
Hmm.
Nokia.
Hmm.
There was the only camera mobile which was available.
Correct.
And there were very few hotels.
Hmm.
And while we were working, we had very few opportunity to work apart from hotels. And hotels used to pay us really, really less.
Hmm.
In today's time, it's very different. But being a chef, wearing that chef's coat and working in the kitchen, hot atmosphere, working under tremendous pressure from seniors and the kind of orders would come from the kitchen order dispenser, it was very difficult. But after working for 13, 14 hours, we used to complain. And then there is also some kind of pride moment that you feel that you've done something right today and you go back to sleep very easily. But we also wanted to improve,
Hmm.
do a lot. I wish I could have joined now because seniors are very encouraging these days. During our time, seniors were not very encouraging.
Acha.
I really don't know the reason why.
I think I can tell you, since there was
Okay.
I mean, since, as you said, there were not many restaurants, and
Yeah.
they had to keep their jobs. So if they encouraged you to become better than them, their jobs were at stake, right? So maybe because
Could
of
be
the
one of the reasons.
competition. Maybe
Could be
maybe
one of
that
the
is one
reasons.
of the reasons, yeah.
Yeah.
But now, since everyone is going out and eating, previously our parents, they never used to go out and eat, which was not a trend. But now it's pretty much trending. People go outside, they try out new restaurants, maybe put a review
Yeah.
on one of the websites. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that has started trending since the advent of smartphone, as you said.
Correct.
So maybe
And
that
coming
was
back to chefs again, like pros and cons.
yeah.
Like I said, they used to pay less, so that's one of the cons. And you don't have social life. Let me tell you, chefs do not get off on Sundays, especially on weekends, not even on New Year's.
Oh my God.
So there's something called the rotational offs, and
Mhm.
sometimes off used to get overhead. They're
Very
saying that okay, we have a party or something like that.
Yeah.
You can take comp offs. So imagine we never used to get an off. Forget about getting comp offs.
Mhm.
And especially during Christmas and New Year, it will be like restless. We used to work 2-3 days continuously without being taking rest. We never used to go home. We used to sleep in the on the bench, in the lockers, take shower, and go back after 2 hours.
Oh my
So
God.
this is a kind of work. This is a con, I would say.
Mhm.
Con, sorry. And being an entrepreneur, like there is also a great feeling when you become an entrepreneur, people look up to you. I don't know why. So maybe they think they cannot decide upon becoming an entrepreneur. People think it's a brave act or a step to do it, and people look up to you that you have done something great, which we can't do it. I think out of 100, maybe 1 or 2 people think of taking this step. According to them, it's very bold, but according to me, it was not so bold. I just followed my instinct. I just followed my heart. It's what I wanted to do. But being an entrepreneur will not give you regular pay.
Yes.
It will not give you regular pay. By end of the month, you'll get the SMS saying, okay, you have received so much amount as a salary. You will never see that salary. You'll never see the smile on an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs always checking their balance most of the time. They work what they have. and then they spend
Yes.
and they struggle, and they know there will be a night. For others, it would be an overnight success. I don't know, for entrepreneur, it's a everyday struggle. It's not a every, last night or overnight success. So it's a everyday struggle.
That is why it's a bold move, right? You are
Yeah,
agreeing to not get a salary at the end of the month and go struggle out there. So that is why people look up to entrepreneurs. You just
maybe.
answered your own question.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
I want to know, did you have any mentor who helped you with this, with Daisy Dozen and with everything that you're doing right now?
Uh, Not in a way like professional way as a mentor. When I started, I used to seek help from others, from my friends, but I never had a mentor who would mentor me in every step. Azhar, now you have to do this. You have become an entrepreneur. This is how you start. This is how you do the branding. If I had a mentor earlier, I would have never done the mistake of, keeping the name as Baker's dozen.
Correct.
I could have avoided it. Then I realized having a mentor will definitely help you. But I never had a professional mentor in terms of telling me in my every step as a professional growth how I can become better as an entrepreneur. My mentor, I think, is my lessons or my failures have been my mentors in my life so far. In 5 years, if I fail at something, example is I could have checked if this name is available, if this trademark is available, which I didn't. I realized it. That's my failure. Now, I have learned that, okay, yes, if I have to mentor somebody, if I have a mentee in future, I can tell them, look, you have to look upon the name first and then you can do something like this. So, long story short, I think my failures are my mentor.
Great, great. That's a wonderful thing to live by.
Thank you.
So, do you get bulk
Yeah.
orders, and how do you handle bulk orders?
Very rarely I get bulk orders. This is one of my weaknesses. I think I do not go out and socialize much. I'm not part of networking sessions. I'm just part of a small networking group. But I do not get much large orders. If I have to get large orders, then I have to meet a lot of corporate, a lot of IT companies and make friends and socialize. People are not aware of this brand as such. And second weakness, I think I did not invest much in terms of marketing. Very few people know about the name of Daisy Dozen. Yes, there's a bakery exists called Daisy Dozen.
Correct.
When I invest much, people think it is as a brand. It's a big brand. So I'm working on my weaknesses to convert this in a strength. That yes, this is a brand. We can do bulk orders. We have a 2,000 square feet main kitchen, which is located in Vadgaon, Sheri, which is where I sit and operate.
Okay.
Yes, we can do better. Hence, I think going forward, I would like to meet people, socialize much, and maybe I want to, grow my wings and spread my wings in various ways and make my business more profitable.
Great.
I hardly get very few bulk orders, especially during Christmas.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Great. All the best to you. I hope you do that and become a
Thank
bigger name.
Thank
So,
you.
do you think it is necessary to have a plan B in place before following baking as a profession?
You should ideally. Like when I left, many people said, do not leave the industry. You're doing well as a chef on such a corporate level. I was doing really well. And many people, especially my manager and my CEO also suggested that don't do this right now. Maybe when you get married, if your wife is working, which is plan B according to them. If your wife is working, you can work. And if you don't have income, you can also fall back on your wife's income. She can be supportive.
Okay.
And then I asked them this question, okay, Mr. That what about if I start something, if I fail, let me give it a year. If I fail, if I think I'm not doing well for myself in a year, will you take me back in the same position? The answer was yes.
Okay.
We will actually think about it, Azhar. We will take it. Then I said, let me give a try. Let me try and fail. What if it works? If it doesn't work, you have promised that you will take me back. So that's how I decided to go. That was my plan B.
Okay.
And also my sister was very supportive during
Uh-huh.
my very difficult times. I had borrowed some money. She used to send some money from Dubai. She's working in Dubai right now. She still is. And she used to send some money, which took care of my house expenses, all my rent expenses. There was a time I could not pay rent on time.
Okay.
I had to borrow from her. So these are plan B. But if you have a strong plan B, when I say strong plan B is where you have a regular income, you will not be as passionate as you have as when you don't have a plan B, because you know you don't have a plan B, and this is the only way, this is the only hope you have, and you will actually work better. Imagine you are given a vest, life jacket, and thrown on a sea, okay, from a
Yes.
boat or a ship. You know you have a life jacket. You will not spread your arms and wings. You will not, you know,
You'll not try to
work from,
survive because
yeah,
you're going to float anyway.
yeah. So you will decide, okay, you have a life vest too,
Yeah.
because you have a plan B. What if you don't have a life jacket? You
Then
have
you
only
will
your
crash.
hands.
Yeah.
You will try even harder for your life.
Correct.
And maybe during that time, these are the moments which will make you a better swimmer. Maybe you want to take that air. Maybe you don't want to drown. Maybe you will do better. So these kind of pressure will make you a better learner, and these challenges make you like never give attitude kind of a person. Okay, I
Yes.
have done well. Let me try even harder. So this was my only hope I had.
Great, great. I have one more query. Do you think baking can be taught at a school level?
Yes, I think it should be included. See, if you can teach math,
Hmm.
you can teach baking, cooking as well.
Correct.
Okay, so 2 plus 2 is 4. So take 100 grams of butter, take 100 grams of flour, 100 grams of sugar, 100 grams of egg,
Yeah.
bake this at 180 degrees Celsius. This is math as well.
Correct.
So you can teach everything. I think baking can be taught.
Hmm.
Cooking
Great.
can
So,
be taught.
so
I
would you
think it should
consider
be.
it?
Would I consider what teaching?
Would you consider? Yeah. Would you consider teaching?
Yeah. Actually, that's my this another plan, because I thought another generating in terms of revenue. What I can do is I can consider of conducting such classes, but I don't have a right atmosphere right now, because what happens is most of the time my kitchen is occupied. I need a cleaner space. I need a bigger space so that I can advertise much and say that, okay, yes, baking, what kind of recipes can be taught, and certain amount of money can be taken. So this has become another revenue generating idea. So most bakers or most institutions teach baking.
Correct.
Yeah,
Great.
but nothing comes for free.
Oh, nothing comes for free. For free.
Whatever you bake, that's for free.
Oh.
Yeah. Even if it's burnt, you have to eat it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Sure.
So, what is the message that you would like to give your fellow bakers out there?
Okay, fellow bakers, most people are professional. Most people are still learning at it. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe you need to have little more passion towards cooking or baking. If you actually love something, if you think about the end result, this is how it could be, this is how it should be. If you put your heart and soul, measure each and everything very closely, because baking and cooking are two different things. You can goof up at cooking. For example, if you're making an omelette, you can goof up at something. The result could be disastrous, but it can be still eaten.
Yeah.
Manageable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But baking has science. So baking recipe is known as formula. So formula should be very accurate. If somebody says 100 grams, it should be 100 grams. It can't be 110 grams.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like a thumb rule. For example, you have to use 20 gram of sugar for 1 kg of flour, or 20 gram of salt, 1 kg of flour. It's a standard. It's a thumb rule. It's been there for last, I think, 200 or 300 years, or maybe more than that. So yeast works like that. It has to be 20 gram of yeast for 1 kg of flour. It has to be 20 grams. So while baking, these measurements are known as formula. So you are like a scientist while working, especially in bakery. So if your formula gets wrong, you will not get the desired result.
Okay.
So being very accurate, you have to keep your eyes and ears open, follow the right procedure and technique, because baking is also a science and an art. So be very passionate and keep your eyes and ears open, follow the formula and keep working at it, because overnight you will not become a champion. You will not become a great chef or a great cook, because over a period of time, a lot of effort has to be given. You have to do many trial and errors, and then you will work, because oven changes. If it's 180 degrees in my oven and your oven has 180 degrees, the heat could be different because of various reasons. So you have to work what's in your house. Maybe it is working well in my oven, it is not working well. Then you have to make a trial and error, what works well.
Great. So hard
That's
work
the
is the
message
key and practice is the key. Trial and error
Practice
is the key.
and little bit of persistence. Yes.
Yes. Okay, so this is the podcast. This is what the podcast is about. It's called Unsettling. So I want to know, what is the definition of settled for you?
You can never get settled. You will never settle. I think, how do I put it? I think I put it really well, because unsettling, I don't know how did you come up with this, but I think you can never settle, because we humans are very restless in nature.
Yeah.
We are fine right now.
Actually,
A
that is
minute
what
later,
unsettling is about. That is what
yeah.
unsettling is about, right? That is why I started
Okay.
this podcast, because nobody is doing what our forefathers asked us to do. Just get married at a certain age, to follow a
Correct.
career path, and
Correct.
have kids, which we are not doing. We
Yeah.
are doing something completely different. We are not settling.
Yeah.
We are not stable, but we are happy. So that is why I wanted to know, what is your
Basically, we are not photocopies of forefathers. We are doing something
Yes.
different.
Yes. That is why I wanted to know, what is your definition of settled?
Uh, okay. I think I followed my heart.
Uh-huh.
I never wanted to be a Xerox or photocopy. I wanted to be little different, like a limited edition. Maybe something is limited edition, something is very rare, is more priceless, I think.
Yes.
That's why I wanted to do something like this, like an entrepreneur. Very few people in my entire family, nobody has ever done a business.
Okay.
I think I'm the only one, if I recall, if I sit and go back while I'm speaking to you, I don't see anybody who has survived in a business for 5 long years.
Oh.
Now I think I am very proud of myself while I say that. Now I think this is unsettling is all about.
I'm glad. I think even we are proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you. Thank you for your time and a wonderful insight into your life and your journey. I hope it helps a lot of people out there. I
hope so too.
Yeah, and I request the listeners to visit Daisy Dozen in Pune. And Azhar, can you tell the listeners where the branches are located?
Yeah, currently we have 3 branches. One, the main factory, which is located in Vadgaon Sheri near Kalyani Nagar. Another one in Kharadi near Reliance Mart. And another franchise outlet is in Pimple Saudagar near Godambe Chowk, Rahatni.
Oh.
Currently we have 3. Hopefully we will mushroom to 20 outlets.
Oh, great. So do you have any page that the listeners can follow on Instagram?
Yes, it's Daisy Dozen by AK. The brand name itself, @Daisy Dozen by AK.
Great. Thank you, Azhar, and thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Unsettling. If you have any feedback, please write it in the comments or send me a mail on podcast.unsettling.as@gmail.com, or send me a DM on my Instagram page. I'm sharing all the links in the description below. I hope you had fun. Stay tuned. More stories are yet to come.